My name is Jeff Morgan. I am from Dallas, Texas. And one article that I just saw the other day was from the American Conservative magazine. And it deals with public policy. And it was very interesting because the title of the article was this: Married Americans Keep Voting Red. Married Americans keep voting red. In 2020, marriage rates were the single sharpest dividing line between areas that voted for Trump and those that went for Biden. So if you look at the polling data, what it revealed was this: there was a very sharp line between a person who was married, how he or she voted, and a person who was unmarried, how he or she voted. So for example, Donald Trump received a comfortable majority of votes among married men and women, 54%. So if you look at married men, 56% voted for President Trump and 42% voted for President Biden. If you look at married women, 52% of the married women voted for President Trump, 47% of the married women voted for President Biden. So if you look at just at these two people right here, the married people, you had a 14% higher voting rate for President Trump if you were married and you were a man. That was what the data was revealing. If you were a married woman, your votes would be 5% higher for President Trump. Now, I want to also make a distinction here too, because married and single is not the only factor that was involved in whether a person voted for President Trump or President Biden, but it was the single sharpest dividing line that these researchers have found. Now, the more interesting thing perhaps is this: the unmarried men, 46% voted for President Trump, 52% voted for President Biden. So 6% of the unmarried men voted for President Biden over President Trump. But the revealing statistic is this: unmarried women. If you were an unmarried woman, 37% voted for President Trump, 62% voted for President Biden. That was a difference of 25%. This is a big issue that conservatives and Republicans need to talk about. Whenever you destroy marriage, whenever you create the environment that marriage is not desirable, and we know that marriage rates are decreasing, something is happening with your voting patterns. There was also an instance in here that said for every 1% additional 1% marriage rate, it equated to about 1.2% more votes for President Trump. Once again, that not being the only factor that needed to be considered, but it was the single sharpest factor. Now, when you look at the issue of not protecting marriage, what does that mean for us? What it means is that if we don't protect marriage, if we let marriages crumble through divorce, if we make the atmosphere such, the environment such that men say, wait a minute, I'm not getting married because I'm going to go to family court. The state can dissolve my marriage. The state can take my children away from me. The state can take my income away from me. The state can bankrupt me and put me in poverty, even if I don't want a divorce. What does that mean? It means that people are not going to get married. Marriage rates will reduce. And again, looking at the data from the 2020 election, if you are married, you have a higher probability of voting conservative and Republican than if you are unmarried. If you are unmarried, both men and women, you are more likely to vote Democrat or socialist or whatever it may be. If you are married, you have a much higher likelihood of voting conservative or Republican or whatever best encompasses those ideals. Anyway, this is something that I think the GOP, the Republican Party, needs to start actually talking about, needs to start fixing the family, because when we don't fix the family, what we are doing is this: we are making it so that each successive year, each successive election cycle, we are allowing Democrats to get more votes. Why is that? Because if you have single people that have children, for example, they are more likely to need government assistance. They are more likely to need somebody to take care of them. Which party promises that? The Democratic Party looks for people to give hands out to. Whereas on the other hand, the Republican Party wants people to pick themselves up. If you are a married family, there is something about being married and supporting a wife, or maybe that's the wife supporting the husband and supporting children, that makes you want to improve yourself. You want to keep your money. You want lower taxes. You are concerned about your children. You vote conservatively because it's not just for you, it's for your children. The GOP, the Republicans, need to start talking about the issue of family, or we are going to continue to cede elections to Democrats and to liberals, to progressives, to socialists. Once again, Vladimir Lenin said, destroy the family, destroy society. He said that because he knew by doing that, that would help him usher in communism. And if we want communism in Texas or in the United States of America, just ignore the issue about marriage. But if you want to see a limited government, if you want to see conservative values passed on to the upcoming generations, you need to start addressing the issue of marriage and family integrity. You need to start protecting marriage, and you need to start protecting families. Thank you very much.